Our family recently visited the Great Wolf Lodge in Perryville, Maryland. The resort just opened in June of 23, so we're excited to check out the facility. We visited in early August, arriving on a Thursday and staying for 2 nights, leaving on a Saturday. This is the first time we're visiting a Great Wolf Lodge or any resort that offers an indoor water park as the main attraction. In doing some research before our trip, I was having a hard time finding videos with children around the same age, so I'm hoping this will help families out with younger children. Our son Luke is 3.5 and our daughter Avery is 1.5 at the time of travel. We arrived at the resort at 3:30 p.m. and completed their mobile check-in via kiosks they had available. Check-in wasn't until 4, but our room was available, so we were able to settle in. The whole check-in process went smoothly and quick. We were able to print out wristbands for access into our room. For our room, we reserved the standard Wolf Den suite. When you first enter the room, you have a little open closet adjacent to the bathroom. The bathroom is a tub shower with toilet. The sink is found outside the room, which is nice to have access if somebody is using the bathroom. Next to the bathroom, you have the Wolf Den, which houses the bunk beds. The theming is absolutely adorable, and our son loved having his own space. The room also has a lot of spacious countertops, where we were able to unpack and have easy access to everything we needed in the room. The room was large enough where we had plenty of space to set up our daughter's pack and play and could still sit at the small table. There was also a pull-out couch available. I'm not sure how comfy it would be with another 2 people in the room, but I can say it worked for us. Our view wasn't much to look at, but if we turned all the way to our left, we could see where the outdoor pool is with some nice mountain views. It seems like some suites could be overlooking this, which would be nice, but not what we had. Here's another shot of the Wolf Den. Once the kids are a little older, I can see this being even more fun, where both kids can use the bunk beds. Just to note, there is a warning label on the bed that suggests children need to be 6 years or older to sleep on that top bunk. So we're still a few years away from this, but something that our family is definitely looking forward to in the years to come. Let's talk about our daughter's setup. We use the Lotus Travel Crib, which has a super easy setup and takedown. It also has an amazing travel bag with backpack straps that make it easy to carry wherever you go. Over it, we use the Slumber Pod. This is a tent-like setup that allows us to place it over the crib so our daughter isn't distracted during naps and sleep. It also allows my husband and I to stay up after she goes to bed without distraction. It even has a pouch for our camera so we can still keep an eye on her through the baby monitor. We just place her sound machine with nightlight on the floor and she has her own private space. Next, let's talk about the food. The first place we ate at the resort was Hungry as a Wolf. This was the on-site pizza restaurant. We were able to split 1 pie between the 4 of us, along with garlic cheese bread, and still had 2 slices of pizza left. The garlic bread was delicious and the pizza was just okay. My picky son loved it and ate 2 full slices, which is a rarity for him. For breakfast, we signed up for a package at Campfire Kitchen, which was $67 total for both days. This was an add-on package before arrival. Kids 3 and under eat free at the buffet, so we only had to pay for our adult meals. It was a great value to purchase before our trip. Walk-up at this place would have been $25 per person, so it was a pretty good value for us. Just make sure to visit the front desk to get your vouchers because they don't provide them with mobile check-in. So let's take a look at the buffet. They had a selection of pastries when you first start out, and they did have some lunch offerings that would appeal to kids, so it wasn't just breakfast. They had tots, chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, French toast sticks. They had chocolate chip pancakes in addition to regular pancakes, which we thought was a nice touch because our son loves chocolate chip pancakes. Breakfast potatoes, sausage patties, and then some of those traditional favorites like eggs, bacon, sausage links. They had some kibasi, which I thought was a little unusual but fun, and a carving station with ham. Cold selections included granola with yogurt, which was really nice as an option. They also had fresh strawberries, which were absolutely delicious and a favorite of our kids. And then some other fruits, including grapes and melons. They also had cold cereal available. Just to note, though, the milk for the cold cereal was the only milk you could get. So if your kid drinks milk, you may want to bring your own. They also had some fresh bread for toasting. And then I just want to make note that the only beverages available besides coffee and tea were juice. They only had glasses, so I'd suggest if your kids are not trained with glassware to bring your own sippy cup. Otherwise, we would have had a problem with them drinking juice. We don't have any footage from Timbers while in the water park, but did want to mention it was pretty good for quick service. We used their mobile order and it worked flawlessly. On our last night, we did dinner at the sit-down restaurant Barnwood. This was by far our favorite meal at the lodge. We were able to book a reservation 45 minutes before we wanted to eat, but I'd suggest making it sooner, especially if you're visiting on a weekend. I did want to mention that if you like cocktails, this is only one of the 2 places that you could get a mixed drink, not in a can with a full bar. The other place is called The Watering Hole, and it's located in the water park. The restaurant was very clean and spacious, and they had this really nice open kitchen where you could see the chefs preparing the food, which I thought was a really nice touch. They had a nice kids menu and had sippy cups for their drinks, which is always a plus. They brought our kids' meals out first, and they really enjoyed them. They came with fresh fruit, veggie sticks, and french fries. I had their bacon cheeseburger, and my husband had their crab dip and wing appetizers as his entree. Everything was excellent, and it was a clear step up from the fast casual food at the lodge. Not saying that the other food wasn't enjoyable, but this was clearly a differential needed at the sit-down place. The service was also excellent. My son spilled his drink, and within minutes, the supervisor was all over it, telling me not to worry and that there was a mop on the way, and took care of the whole thing, as well as got my son another drink. Since we enjoyed the food here so much, we ended up deciding to do dessert instead of stopping at the ice cream parlor they have on site. We got the campfire fondue, and it didn't disappoint. It was a chocolate fondue with roasted marshmallows and a bunch of dippers for it. The whole family enjoyed it and didn't miss the ice cream parlor one bit. Next, let's talk about entertainment. We experienced both the PJ dance party and story time. Both ran twice at night, which was good because it didn't push us to keeping our kids up past their bedtime. We attended the earlier shows for each. The dance party started at 7 p.m. and was okay. They did say it was a bubble dance party, but I think it was pretty much based on how many kids bought bubble wands. Since we have plenty from Disney, we were not about to expand our collection, and I feel that everybody else was in a similar boat. The story time was at 8 p.m. and it was absolutely amazing, and I'd prioritize seeing this. We tried to watch it the first night and were so far back we couldn't hear anything, and it was super crowded. As a result, the second night we made an effort to come early, get a good spot by the fireplace to watch it. On the second night, while waiting for the story time to start, they had some cute little wolf rockers in the lobby, which helped our kids kill some time. They do ask you not to record the story, so I only have a little footage from before it started, just to show how cool the fireplace experience is and how important it is to get a seat close to it. Now let's get into activities, and the first being the water park. I don't have as much footage here as I'd hope, but trying to keep an eye on 2 little ones not accidentally falling into the lazy river was the priority. We spent 90% of our time at Otter Springs Pool, which was the Toddlers splash and play area. They had 3 little water slides and a bunch of sprayers that you typically see at your neighborhood splash pad. Both our kids were super content here and never got sick of this area. For me and my husband, it was beyond exhausting, but they had a blast. Besides the toddler area, we did try the wave pool, which our daughter loved, but it wasn't something our son was into. We also tried the lazy river, but our kids weren't really into it, and it required more on us than anything, so it wasn't all that relaxing. There was one other area they could go, which was the Otter Cave Waterworks. That was the area with the big bucket. There were 3 taller slides, which in theory both kids could have went on, but we couldn't go with them on the water slides. They would have had to have gone down on their own. Behind the giant water bucket, there was a small green and blue slide, which were toddler friendly, but that was about it. They weren't able to go on any of the tube slides, even with a supervising adult. All other slides you needed to be at least 42 inches for. My son did make it down one of those bigger slides. I spoke to the attendant at the top who was monitoring when people could go down and asked if I went down first if she could make sure my son went down at the right time. She was so nice and said absolutely, so we were able to take advantage of those where I was able to catch him once he went down the slide. My son also had an interest in the wand game Magic Quest. He was a little on the young side for this, but they had a mini Magi mode for children under 5. This game didn't cost any extra as it was included with the wands, unlike the main game. We ended up playing the game on Friday morning along with mini golf and the arcade, which turned out to be a good idea as those activities got super crowded the other times we were thinking about doing them. I purchased the wands for both our kids since they haven't gotten the whole sharing thing down very well yet. With the mini mode of the game, they were able to go around the lobby and find areas to wave their wands. They could go in any order, unlike the real game, which was good for them. I was a little confused because there was no objective or way to win the game. It just says things like, "You receive 100 gold," which didn't really mean anything to me. After speaking with the attendant, she advised that it is just something to make the kids seem like they are collecting points. After Magic Quest, we tried mini golf. We only had to pay for however many players would play, but could all go in the area together. So my husband and son played while I walked around and hoped my daughter didn't wander into any of the other holes. This was my 3-year-old's first time playing golf, and he absolutely loved it. The only issue we had was he didn't get the end of the game and just wanted to keep going around and around. If you have a younger kid like us, I would try and look going early in the morning before it gets too crowded, because we did see at other times of the day this area get pretty full, and mini golf can always be a little frustrating when it starts to back up, where people may not necessarily have patience. Our last activity was the arcade. Both kids loved it and had a complete blast. You have to purchase a game card to play, and what was very cool, and I've never seen before, is you have the option to choose if you want to electronically collect tickets or collect actual paper tickets. I found almost everyone carrying paper tickets, so I feel like most are of a similar mindset of how rewarding it is to have actual physical tickets. I will say the machine that you use to redeem the tickets malfunctioned twice for us. Each time that we were able to ask an attendant, and they were able to help us out and ensure we weren't going to miss any of our tickets. They had a lot of games for all ages. To that point, my husband and I found ourselves playing more of the games than our kids. I do caution, you can go through money very quickly. Depending on how many games you play, you could go through their point system very fast. I don't think either me or my husband want to admit how many credits we needed to go through to win our daughter that rubble stuffed animal. Besides the arcade, we did want to try and do bowling and perhaps gem mining, but we did run out of time. The only activity we couldn't do was the ropes course because our kids were too young for it. As a result, I probably wouldn't purchase one of those pup passes they offered for sale if you have toddlers. I feel like it would have been too much pressure to make sure we were getting our money's worth, and they just didn't offer the variety of activities we wanted to do. So it was something our family decided to skip. We also never made it to the outdoor pool. We didn't feel like we were missing much though, since it didn't seem to have the toddler area that they mentioned on the website. Before heading out, we did swing by the main store. The store had a ton of Great Wolf Lodge merchandise as expected, including some really cute t-shirts available in both adult and kid sizes, so you could get matching ones if you really wanted. The back of the store had a Build-A-Bear, which was very cute because they had special characters associated with the lodge that you could make. We were thankful both of our kids were half asleep, so that way we did not have to buy anything as we were walking through the store. They also had this cute little birthday section where if you were celebrating a birthday there, you could get some specific merchandise to support the celebration. Lastly, the front of the store had a candy shop where you could create your own cup of candy, which looked delicious but also dangerous at the same time. Overall, we had a wonderful trip and would come back again. I must say I was surprised that everything went as smoothly as it did, considering the resort had been open for less than 2 months prior to our visit. The staff we engaged with was mostly friendly and helpful. The place was also super clean. They were constantly vacuuming the carpet in the lobby and spraying down high-touched areas. If going with younger kids, I think 2 to 3 nights is an appropriate length for a well-paced trip that includes naps. I think had we only stayed 1 night, we would have felt very rushed and it would have been difficult for us to do water activities without access to our hotel room. To note, while the water park had a changing area and a family restroom, the lobby had neither. They did have a generously sized changing table in both the men's and women's restrooms. Even with 2 nights, we didn't get to experience everything. We missed the various character meet and greets as well as some of the other activities they had in the lobby throughout the day. We could have gotten there earlier on Thursday, but with our kids, it was better to have them nap on the way down, and then they were fresh for the visit to the water park upon our arrival. In terms of cost, we paid $755 for 2 nights, including the breakfast package, taxes, and resort fees. I do encourage you to keep checking the website and applying different discount codes for your dates. I did this several times and ended up saving $235 from our original booking by changing the discount code. In order to apply a new discount code, I used the chat feature and they were able to go through everything online. They even honored a new discount code just 2 days before the trip. Prior to arriving at the hotel, we did check out a little downtown area in Northeast Maryland. I'll link that video down below. If you're looking to do something outside of the hotel, this town is only 15 minutes from the lodge, and we had a great lunch, found a cute candy shop, as well as coffee shop with amazing donuts. Definitely would be a must for us to visit next time. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.